All right, welcome to our Counselor and Counselor-in-Training virtual info meeting. We have our co-directors here, if you would like to introduce yourselves first before we get started.
Go ahead.
Do you want to introduce yourself?
Okay, yes, I'm going to start. Hi, everyone. My name is Bahar Taravati. I'm one of the co-directors of the Arts Camp. And we look forward to this year camp. And we're very excited about the opportunities and experiences that we will be providing for our campers this year. We're looking forward working together and making this year's camp a wonderful and enriching experience for everyone.
My name is Brian Gerson. I am excited to be here. This is all really exciting, and I'm really looking forward to camp this year. And thank you so much to everybody for coming on. I have a land acknowledgement. If you guys would like me to read it.
Sure, go ahead, Brian.
Sure. Okay, sure. So we'd like to start off in a good way, and in doing such, we'd like to say the land acknowledgement. We affirm that we are all treaty people and acknowledge that the York Region District School Board is located on the lands of 2 treaties. These treaties are signed with the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation and the First Nations of the Williams Treaties, who are the Mississaugas of Alderville, Curve Lake, Hiawatha, Scugog Island, and the Chippewas of Beausoleil, Rama, and Georgina Island, our closest neighbor and partner in education. To honor this agreement, we will take up our responsibility to be respectful of their traditions, knowledge, and inherent rights as sovereign nations. We will respect their relationship with these lands and recognize that our connection to this land is through the continued relationship with these First Nations, and we acknowledge our shared responsibility to respect and care for the land and waters for future generations.
Thank you so much, Brian. If we can head to the next slide, we just want to thank everyone who is here today. If you're watching online or if you're watching this later, we're so glad that you're here. Today, we're going to talk about a few things. We're going to provide you with an overview of the YRDSB Arts Camp and give you any additional information about the responsibilities and the rewards of becoming a counselor and in our CIT roles. We're going to offer you an opportunity to ask questions about the roles and the application process before you complete your application. And we just want to share our excitement and the joy of camp.
Awesome. So as a counselor or a CIT, you'll be working with all of the staff at camp. That could be curriculum staff, administrators, teachers, community artists, social workers, nurses, all kinds of different people throughout the week. However, as a part of the leadership team, you will be communicating closely with the following people who are here in the background today. So we'd like to introduce you to them.
So as you've seen already, we have our 2 co-camp directors, Bahar and Brian, who introduced themselves at the beginning here.
We also have Jen, our camp operations coordinator, and Karen, our program manager this year.
And finally, your 2 leadership program coordinators is myself, John, and Ali, who are giving you this presentation today.
Awesome. So just to go over some reminders for today, this presentation is, if you're watching live, you're watching on YouTube, but it will also be posted there as well to watch for future reference. Links to the slides and a question form will appear and you'll be able to access that. You should be able to access it right now. We have disabled the chat feature to ensure a positive environment for everyone, and we want to prevent any unwanted disruptions. That being said, if you have any questions, you can see there's the form there, as well as a QR code right now. If you'd like to scan, you can ask us any questions throughout this stream and we can answer them right away.
Fantastic. So after such a great time that we had last year and looking forward to another amazing opportunity, that's why we're here to talk to you today. This is our Counselor and Counselor-in-Training info session. So we need your help. Maybe you've been to Arts Camp before. Maybe you love taking on leadership roles at your school and beyond, and you're motivated to create a memorable experience for the campers at Arts Camp. No matter why you are here, we are so excited that we're excited to meet you, and we hope to see you again.
We are here, John and myself, as well as the rest of the leadership team. We're here to support you on your leadership journey. The counselor and CIT positions are unique and super rewarding, and we are here to help you. So one of our goals is to work collaboratively to reimagine Arts Camp while also honoring the core values that have been created over the last 35 years.
So what is Arts Camp? If you have been to Arts Camp before, hopefully some of these words really ring true to you. But Arts Camp at the York Region District School Board is an intensive 8-day immersion in visual, studio, and performance arts programs and experiences. It's held at Camp White Pine in Haliburton, Ontario. So at the camp, you are encouraged to discover and explore your identity through supported risk-taking and positive collaboration with peers, staff artists, and camp leaders through intensive and extended opportunities to explore and discover new and creative talents. Arts Camp fosters rich opportunities to gain self-awareness, self-confidence, and a distinct identity while supporting your growth, individuality, and potential. We hope that, all of us believe that Arts Camp it's inclusive, it's dynamic, and of course, it's fun.
So we just kind of going off of what John is saying, we just wanted to show you some photos from the last couple of years. The last 2 years specifically, though there are photos from many more years. So we have a printmaking studio, we have pottery, canoeing. There's lots to see at camp.
We have camp is run by our wonderful instructors who like to have fun there as well. There's a picture there of one of our programs of Jan Speak. We also have a photo of our CITs from last year who were participating. They grouped up together to do some group karaoke at Artapalooza, I believe.
Yeah. We are lucky at Camp White Pine to be right on a beautiful lake. So we do have a canoeing program. We have painting programs, and we do a really fun kind of art night called Artapalooza. So there's a photo from that as well.
Just getting into the camp environment and something that you would be participating in as counselors and CITs are a whole bunch of camp games that you can be involved with, and you'll have a chance to plan. It's definitely an area where you're going to have some messy fun involving with lots of different materials and different art forms. And of course, just a picture in the middle of a chance for people who are looking for some songwriting as well.
Awesome. So if you're watching, maybe you're interested in a leadership role this year at Arts Camp. So just some notes on what we're looking for. We are looking for students committed to the full 8 days that are motivated to take on a leadership role. We're looking for those able to build relationships and work with a team, both peers and staff. We are looking for reliability. So prior to camp, there will be 2 mandatory pre-camp trainings and meetings, which we'll talk about more later on. You'll have to complete phone calls to your campers' parents or guardians. And we also are looking for positive role models. We're looking for enthusiasm about creating a positive and inclusive camp experience, that you're willing to learn, try new things, and grow. That you're ready for the responsibilities of leading a cabin. So ensuring safety protocols are met, that you're motivating campers, ensuring punctuality of campers and yourself, and that you're nurturing growth for everyone around. That you're responsible, so you're adhering to and promoting all YRDSB expectations and reporting any issues to the appropriate people in a timely manner. And we're hopeful that you're passionate about the arts or that you're interested in learning more about the arts.
Through the board and our board commitments, we're looking for eligible candidates to be willing to engage in the learning around dismantling anti-Black racism and Indigenous education and equity. Together, we're hoping to continue to strive to provide a camp environment that supports anti-oppression, promotes equity and inclusion, and provides identity-affirming spaces for deep learning.
Excellent. So, as mentioned briefly, there are 2 mandatory pre-camp commitments that, as a counselor or CIT, we need you to be at. So, on Sunday, April 6th, from 9 to 4 p.m., there's a full day counselor CIT training day. Not only will we go over all of the training needed for camp, but it's also a really nice first opportunity to meet your peers that will also be taking on leadership roles. And then on Thursday, May 15th, from 6 to 8 p.m., we have Family Information Night, which is a night for all campers, all families, and we need you there to help us have it run smoothly.
So how do we select our candidates? So first, we're going to take a look at our counselors in training. We are looking for grade 10 or 11 students, and in exceptional cases, we may also look at grade 9 students. We are looking for people who are former YRDSB arts campers or just students with leadership interest and or experiences. We're looking for students who are willing to learn and work as a team with a counselor and the staff who are there, where things you might be doing are co-leading, taking direction, and taking the initiative as well. Selection is going to be based on the number of eligible candidates and readiness that's demonstrated through your resume, your interview, and the references that you provide.
And then on from CITs, how do we select counselors? So we're looking for grade 11 and 12 students, and you can be a former arts camper. You can have been at the space before, or a student who's never been to camp before with leadership potential and or experiences in other spaces. That you have a desire to mentor and nurture the next generation of artists and leaders, that you're comfortable and ready to look after the well-being of around 10 campers and a CIT with our support, of course. And same as CIT, selection is based on the number of eligible candidates and readiness as demonstrated through your resume, your interview, and your references. When we are talking references, when you applied, if you have already, or if you're looking to applying soon, you'll see if you select that you're interested in a leadership role that you require 2 positive endorsements from YRDSB staff, one being your administrator, so your principal or your vice principal, and one from a teacher at your school. Applicants will also require the approval of the Arts Camp leadership team and the superintendent of curriculum services before being selected for a counselor or CIT role. All hiring decisions are made at the discretion of the board's hiring team.
All right. So why might you want to take on a leadership role at Arts Camp? Well, if you've been to Arts Camp before, you know what the sorts of people who are in our leadership positions. You know how influential they may be and how much you want to spend time with them. That could be you. You may take great satisfaction in being an integral part of the artistic, social, and emotional growth of other human beings. And in addition to the regular amazing camp experience, you get to spend part of your day with peers of your own age and who are on the same leadership journey as you. There is also a reduced camp fee and free transportation to and from camp. All the CITs and counselors must ride the bus with pickup and drop off at the board office in Aurora. You also will have a chance to take part in and direct lights out activities to unwind and regroup with the director's discretion. And the leadership at Arts Camp is a unique leadership training possibility. You're going to learn and foster your individual leadership styles while you're there. Taking on this role, you will also have the possibility for references for scholarships and employment, things you can put on your resume as opportunities here. And it's also the potential for community involvement hours for your pre-camp involvement and responsibilities, as in your volunteer hours.
So counselor and CIT applications for 2025 this year at Arts Camp. So just some things to note, you must use your GAPS account to access the application, which is accessible with the regular camper application. This is different than previous years, so if you've been to Arts Camp before, you'll notice a change. You can find the CIT and counselor applications in the same location as the camper application, and you just indicate your interest in a leadership role. You will receive a confirmation email for your application when you submit. If you do not, please do not submit a second application. Instead, reach out to us at arts.camp@yrdsb.ca, and then we can troubleshoot from there.
All right. So if you've decided now that you're going to apply, here's some things that we recommend. Please review the what you need to know document. Even if you applied before in the past, that document is updated each year, and camp being a fluid and dynamic space, that there are going to be some changes between last year or the year before and this version of 2025 Arts Camp. So you can also preview the PDF of the application form before filling out the answers on the application. So you can complete your short answers for this application in a separate document to ensure that you don't lose your responses due to any sort of technical difficulties or timing out. You're going to be applying using the Camper online application, as we said before. This is going to save a spot for you in the lottery, regardless of whether or not you achieve your goal of becoming a counselor or a counselor in training. And it allows you to indicate your interest in the leadership role. So just to say this again, it's the same application. You are simply just indicating your interest there. There's no special or separate application for you, and it's no different whether or not you apply as just a camper or if you apply as a camper with the option to try for leadership.
Excellent. So when we're talking about applications, there are some really important dates, mainly being when are the applications due. So they're due Friday, February 7th by 11:59 p.m. They've been open for about a month now and will be open until February 7th. So there's lots of chance to apply. And the application for a hopeful CIT or counselor is the online application form, a resume, and your 2 references, your administrator and a teacher.
Awesome. So once you have applied, you are then going to receive an email on the weekend of February 8th to 9th, prompting you to sign up for an interview. If you haven't heard from us by February 10th, please, again, reach out to us at thearts.camp@yrdsb.ca email. Interviews are going to take place in the evening on the dates of February 11th to 13th. And that's going to happen between 3 and 8 p.m. And that's something you're going to sign up for.
So once you've applied and you've, completed your interview, you're probably going to be like, when will I find out? So if you submit an application and you do not receive information for scheduling an interview by February 10th, please email us immediately, again, at arts.camp@yrdsb.ca. And offers will be sent out soon after the interview 3 days. So be sure to check your email. We need you to check your email after you've interviewed. Within, the week or 2 afterwards. Make sure you're checking that. We don't want you to miss it.
All right. That about wraps up in terms of what the information that Ali and I wanted to share with all of you. Again, here's just a reminder. If you have any questions for us, please direct them to the Google form so that we can receive them and we can answer some of your questions here on this live stream. After the session, if you do have questions, the form will close. You will not be able to direct questions that way, but you can always email us at the arts.camp email with any further inquiries, and we will get back to you as soon as we can.
So we would love to open up the floor to any questions. We're going to check out that form, and we can do that now. All right, so there's a question. It says, is there anything I should prepare myself for when it comes to interviews? So your interview I'll take this question. Your interview will be with 2 members of the Arts Camp staff. It will be virtual. And it won't be super long, about 15 minutes or so. So just think about possible leadership scenarios. Maybe we might ask you, there's this type of challenge, and how would you deal with that? Or who would you go to? Or how will you work with someone potentially who has a different leadership style than you? So there's going to be a variety of questions, but don't stress. We are also looking potentially for, experience that would make you qualified for the position. So come with your answers prepared. If you've been a camp counselor before, come with all of that information and be ready to share it. There will be a preview of questions sent to you when you sign up for the interview, so you'll have time to prepare beforehand. You won't go into it with no information.
Yeah. And we definitely do encourage you to prepare for the interviews. Even if you are someone who speaks very well about yourself or very composed in off the cuff, we do recommend for sure that you prepare yourself for these interviews so that you, A, know what you want to say, and B, that you're not going to run out of time that you were given there. As Ali had mentioned, it's going to be with two staff members, but it might not be staff members that you know or that you've seen before. It could be Ali and myself. It could be Brian and Bahar. It could be anyone who you might not know. So something you should also be prepared for is just being able to talk about yourself in a quick manner that really sells yourself as a person and what you might offer to camp in a leadership role.
Excellent. And just something that I wanted to say really quickly. I mentioned that the mandatory full day training was April 6th. That was set in error. It will be April 27th. So please, if you made a note of that, April 27th is the actual date for the full day training.
We will also be sure to advertise that date for through all our social media things. So just in case you missed it, it's April 27th.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's correct on all our information, we just said the wrong date today. We're very sorry about that.
All right.
All right. So we had another question here that says, what experience makes you qualified for a CIT role or a counselor role? Definitely things as we said, we're looking for people who have had maybe some arts camp experience before as a camper, or if you were a CIT who has gone through the leadership training, then that would prepare you very, very well for becoming a counselor at camp. But also it's not limited to students who are former campers. If you are a student who excels in leadership roles in your school right now and love looking for opportunities for leadership, that would make you qualified for our role. We're looking for students who would be problem solvers when situations come up, and people who are looking to take the initiative to be the person that people can turn to with any sort of issues that come up in an 8-day away from home experience at camp in the wilderness. We also are, if you have other experience at other camps, so not necessarily something with the board, that would also be something you should draw upon when thinking about if you're qualified for camp experience. I mean, sorry, for the role, for the leadership role.
And just to piggyback onto what John was saying as well, because you're high school students, maybe you've done a co-op, maybe you have a part-time job, any experience is something that we're looking for. Anything like that, or maybe you've worked with kids in the past, or you are on a committee at school. Any information like that is relevant to your interview. And the next question is, do we pick our counselor or CIT partner? No, we do, but we would hope to pair you with someone that we've spoken to and that we feel you would be a great team with.
Sure. The question here says, on the slides, it said that you must be in grade 10 or 11 to apply for CIT. And on the promo poster, it also says it's available for CITs in grade 9. As I mentioned, I'm sorry that I said it verbally, but it didn't say that on the slides itself. We are looking, if there is an exceptional grade 9 student who is looking for a leadership role and can demonstrate through their experiences and their resume and their interviews that they would be a good fit for a counselor in training in our leadership program, then for sure we will consider grade 9. So if you are in grade 9 and you think that you would be a good fit for this, please do not shy away from applying, even though we are generally looking for grade 10s and grade 11s. Usually, I believe it's mostly an age thing, only because you are going to, as a CIT and a counselor, you are going to be looked at as a leader in the cabin. So usually you are placed in a cabin where you are older than the campers who are in the cabin. So it just gives another level or a nice easy look at who can people turn to. There might be some very strong personalities that might find sometimes that someone who is the same age as them might not be someone they want to be looking to when they want to go with their problems. But so that's why we were looking for grade 10s and 11s, but that doesn't mean a grade 9 doesn't fit, because we do have grade 7 and grade 8 cabins as well.
Yeah, I think if you're grade 9 and you're super interested, still apply for the position, and we would love to interview you and meet with you, and maybe you would be the perfect fit. So the interviews are done virtually. Once you schedule your time, you'll be sent a link, and it will be done virtually, and they're about 15 minutes long. So they'll be February 11th, 12th, 13th. You'll be able to choose a time slot between 3 to 8 p.m. on one of those days, and it will be about 15 to 20 minutes virtually. Can I?
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead.
Yeah, just based on, so I am a teacher in York Region now, but I was a CIT and counselor at Arts Camp just a few years ago. And despite speaking on this right now, feel often pretty shy and quiet. And I became a CIT when I was in 10th grade. And yes, sometimes the spaces and the activities are, louder. It feels like so many people are outgoing, but there's always also going to be campers who are also shy and quiet, who need that shy and quiet person. So those two words are not negatives, and can mean that you're a really great leader as well. So definitely still go for it.
And just to add on to what Ali is saying, it's a counselor in training program, right? It is a leadership program that we are here, Ali and myself are here to lead you through, and where we hope to for you to be able to become a unique and find your leadership style that fits you, your personality, and the way you work best with interacting with other people. And so even as Ali said, even if you are shy and quiet, there are strategies and methods of leadership that really buy into those kinds of qualities.
Totally. Are grade 11s the only grade that is allowed to apply for CIT and counselor? No. Ideally, we are looking for our older campers to take on that counselor role. So, I mean, although you can click the select for counselor in a grade younger than 11, I think most beneficial for you and your experience is to be older. But if you're a grade 12 who wants to be a CIT, you can select that as well. It all comes down, as John kind of mentioned earlier, with age. There is that time to learn, and we do hope in doing the CIT program and then potentially doing the counselor one after, there is that learning curve. But you can apply for CIT if you're grade 12, you can apply for counselor if you're grade 11. We don't have, strict boundaries on what you select. I hope that makes sense.
All right, this question says, if I'm a CIT or a counselor, do I have to be with my campers all day? Do I get breaks, time to myself, or time to hang out with friends? So part of the leadership program itself, if you are a CIT, you, as it says in the need to know form, as a counselor in training, you one of your programs that you are doing is the counselor in training program in the morning with Ali and myself. So you will be spending the 2 hours in your morning program. 2 hours is with your other peers in the CIT program, and you will be learning together with us in the morning program. Then you are free to choose a workshop and an afternoon program for you to participate in. So you do get time to hang out with your friends there, because hopefully you're, at least in that situation, you are learning with your peers and other people who are, as we said, in the same sort of situation that you are learning in. And so for our counselors, you will be choosing an AM program and a PM program. Where we connect with you and other counselors is in the workshop. So the hour workshop in between is when all the counselors will be meeting with Ali and myself, where we will be working through any sort of like issues that might come up, but also doing other leadership opportunities with each other in order to continue to build on the skills that people are practicing and working on throughout the week.
Yeah, we also within the daily schedule, there are scheduled. Sometimes it's rest hours, sometimes it's wellness breaks. So that's free time where everyone you choose. Maybe you want to play on the beach volleyball court with your friends, or you want to sit in your cabin and read your book, or sit, or sometimes you can go swimming in the lake if we have the waterfront open. So there's lots of free time built into our schedule. And then with our evening programs, although you are responsible for your campers at that time, we do them camp wide. So you'll be seeing your friends at that time as well. We have another question. It's if you get selected, how many hours would that count for? So in terms of the 40 hours of community involvement that are required for graduation, if you take on the leadership role at Arts Camp, we can provide you up to 20 community involvement hours for your time. Yeah.
All right. If you have any other, that's the last question we have from the forum right now. If you have any other questions, if you're watching this later on, please feel free to email us at arts.camp@yrdsb.ca. You can title those questions however you would like, but if you send us that email, we will get back to you as soon as we can, and answer those questions for you.
Excellent. And just to reiterate a final note, John mentioned it earlier, but if you're interested in taking on a leadership role at camp, camp is a super exciting experience, and we want it to feel super exciting for everyone. And sometimes when we see, a price tag on an experience, it feels a little scary and unattainable. And we do offer a reduced fee for our our students who take on the leadership roles, as John mentioned. So for CIT, it is $650 for the week, reduced, as well as that free transportation. The transportation is free. Sorry, it's $675 for CITs, and your bus transportation is included. And then for counselors, the reduced fee is $550. We hope that we hear from you. We hope that we see you, and totally understandable if those numbers still feel potentially unattainable. We do have bursaries available. We want everyone to come to camp. I would just really quickly like to welcome Brian back to talk about bursaries, just in case anyone is interested in that information. Welcome back, Brian.
Thank you so much, Ali John. This was amazing, and I even got a few important pointers out here, so thank you. We at Arts Camp don't want... Can you see me okay? Yes? Okay, perfect. Excellent. Okay, sorry. We don't want camp to be a barrier for anybody who wants to be able to come. We feel very strongly that cost should not be a prohibitor. We want to make it affordable for everybody to come. We think that if students' families need support, we do have a bursary program that we are offering to students who can who need it. I would encourage you to reach out to your school principal first to see if there's any financial support that they might be able to offer you. And then principals can reach out to us at arts.camp, and then we can go from there. You can also send us an email at arts.camp, and we can work with you, work with your principal, and make sure that camp is a affordable opportunity for you to attend. It is important to recognize money is not unlimited, so we may not be able to give full 100% subsidies, but we are going to be as equitable and supportive to all who would like a subsidy and who would need some support getting to camp. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Brian. All right. So just a reminder again, any questions you might have, please direct them to our camp email there at arts.camp@yrdsb.ca. We just want to thank everyone who was watching with us live today on our YouTube. If you are watching after the fact, thank you so much for giving us your time today, and we thank you for your interest in the CIT and counselor program at Arts Camp. On behalf of myself and Ali, thank you for listening to what we had to say today. We really look forward to speaking with you further. For those of you who are applying, we can't wait to talk to you in the interviews, and we're looking forward to it.
Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us, and have a good night. Yeah, thank you. Bye.